you're watching this channel. Join us as we explore the spooky side of India. So here we are, at the base of a hill in Uttarakhand. You can see the stairs up ahead leading to the temple. To reach this place, you must take a long winding route and climb over 1,200 steps. If you're driving your own vehicle, then parking will be an issue because the road is so narrow. So it's best if you leave your vehicle down below and then walk up. Many people do that. They park their vehicles at least 2 kilometers away, and then they walk the rest of the way. That's how difficult it is to reach this temple. But that's also what makes it so special. It's a very old temple. You can see how moss has covered parts of it. There are many such temples in the hills of Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. In fact, it's impossible to know exactly how old this temple is. It was here before modern maps were made, so it's safe to assume it's a few hundred years old at least. The temple is dedicated to the Hindu goddess Savitri Devi, a fierce protective deity with many arms, riding a lion and holding a lotus flower in her hand. She's a benevolent goddess, but some say she's temperamental. The area around here is covered in thick pine forests, and the air gets pretty chilly. Look at the flags fluttering wildly in the wind. The trees sway even though there's no wind. Let me tell you, it's hard to stand still when you're filming in this weather. Can you? And that sound you hear in the background, the wind whistling past the trees, that's the sound of the hills. Some people call it beautiful, others eerie. I'll let you decide. Locals say this temple is very powerful. They say the goddess here can help those who seek her out, especially women going through tough times. They say she gives them strength to move forward. Pilgrims visit this temple every day, but most of them come in the early hours. This temple sees its busiest time between 6 a.m. and noon. That's when the sun shines and the weather is pleasant. At night, the temple looks like this. No lights, no sound, just pitch black darkness. Local priests say the goddess sleeps at night, and when she does, the forest comes alive. Not with birds or animals, but with shadows. Villagers around here speak of a terrifying sight. They say they've seen dark, shadowy figures roaming inside the temple at night. Sometimes these figures are tall, sometimes short. Sometimes they walk on 2 legs, sometimes on all 4s. These figures have been spotted by dozens of people, so we decided to look for ourselves. Unfortunately, we couldn't find any. By the way, would you dare spend the night here? We would love to know what you think, so don't forget to comment below. But while we were looking for shadows, we did find this. It's a diary left behind by one of the priests. According to the diary, this temple has seen better days. Once upon a time, it was bustling with activity. Priests performed daily rituals. Pilgrims slept on the steps. But these days, the temple is almost deserted. And the reason behind that is quite tragic. Let me tell you about a man named Raghav. He was the main priest at this temple. He lived a simple life. All he wanted was to serve the goddess. He offered prayers at the temple every day. He never took a holiday, never complained about the harsh weather. He was also a kind man. He helped travelers passing by. He gave them food and shelter. He treated everyone like family. He was loved by all the villagers. But one day he vanished. This happened 50 years ago. It was a winter evening. The temperature had dropped well below zero. That's when Ravidus went missing. Villagers searched for him everywhere, but they couldn't find him. Then they checked the temple, and that's when they found him kneeling inside, frozen in fear. His body was stiff, his eyes wide open as if staring at something only he could see. But his heartbeat, it had already stopped. No one knows what happened to him. Some said he froze to death. Others blamed the shadows. In the past, they say the shadow would appear only once a year. But after Raghavdas died, they started coming more often. Villagers asked the remaining priests to leave. After all, what use was a temple without a priest? But some priests stayed back. Maybe they wanted to find answers. Maybe they wanted to protect the temple. But whatever their reason, they too vanished one by one. Today, only one priest remains. He's an old man. He doesn't talk much. He spends most of his time reading ancient texts. Occasionally, he offers prayers at the temple. That's about it. The villagers respect him, but they're scared to ask questions. What if the answers upset the balance? So they live with their fears and legends. Some say the shadows are ghosts. Others say they're demons. Most say they shouldn't be disturbed. Every year, on the anniversary of Raghavdas' death, the village fair is held. Devotees from far and wide gather here. They perform rituals, offer prayers, hoping for divine intervention. But this year, a new priest arrived. He was young, energetic, eager to serve. He started renovations at the temple. He brought color to the faded walls. He repaired the old bell, but those repairs proved fatal. After the bell was fixed, strange things began to happen. Villagers heard it ring all by itself. At first, it was once a week, then once a day. Some say the bell rings to warn the living. Others say it's a sign of the goddess's anger. We tried to find the priest, but he'd already left. Turns out he wasn't a priest at all. He was a conman who fled as soon as he realized what he'd unleashed. Look, we've heard enough stories. It's time for us to leave, but we're not leaving empty-handed. We have a few offerings for the goddess. They're called ladus. We don't want to waste them. Now, according to legend, if the ladus disappear by the next morning, it means the goddess accepted our offering. If they remain, then we weren't worthy. Let's wait and see what happens. But before that, let's tell you another story. Many years ago, a school teacher was returning home from a conference. It was nearly 7 p.m. and she needed to hurry. She was carrying important documents, but she missed the last bus, so she decided to walk. She walked past the temple and onto the main road, and that's when she saw a lone figure walking ahead, a woman in a red sari. She walked barefoot, her long hair flowing in the wind, her head held high. The teacher, she was intrigued, so she decided to follow. The woman walked straight into the forest. The path was narrow and dark, barely wide enough for one person. Still, the woman walked ahead, her back to the teacher. Suddenly, the woman turned, and that's when the teacher saw her face. Her eyes were missing. There were only black, hollow sockets. The teacher screamed and fell down. Next thing she knew, she was lying on the floor, shivering, unable to move. When she finally regained her senses, she saw a crowd gathering. Someone had informed the police. The teacher told them what had happened. She explained how she followed a woman into the forest, but no one believed her. The police laughed at her. The villagers, they consoled her, but they too thought she was lying. The truth was, they feared the same. They knew the danger of following a shadow into the forest. But the teacher insisted. She wanted to prove her story. She led the police back to the forest, but they found nothing, and that's not the end of the story. Some nights the villagers say they hear the woman's voice echoing in the forest. She sings haunting songs that lure travelers off the road and into the dark embrace of the hills. As the sun dips below the horizon, we leave the temple. The shadows grow longer. The wind blows colder. Soon the temple will be closed for the night. We'll leave the ladus here and return in the morning. It's an unspoken rule. If the food is gone, we won't ask questions. But you know what? There's one question we really want to ask. Have you ever visited the Savitri Devi temple? Have you ever seen the shadows dancing in the moonlight? If yes, please share your experiences in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. For now, we're signing off. This has been the story of a temple guarded by shadows. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe. Also, we have a favor to ask. Do you know someone who loves scary stories? Ask them to subscribe. Together we'll explore the spookiest places in India. Until the next story, stay safe.